Ben, we'll just take a look at some of your swing videos from the last term and earlier in the year. These videos were taken, this one in particular, in May. So we can see the setup position looks good. Good even weight distribution on your feet and legs. Club face looks nice and square behind the ball. Shaft in a pretty good position. A little bit of top half tilt. So we need that tilt to remain like that all the way throughout your swing, and you've had a bit of a tendency to lose that tilt a tiny bit. When you see that there, you're just going this way a little bit, which means that you're probably going to back up the wrong way on the downswing. So we just need to make sure that you're doing sufficient body rotation exercises and drills in front of the mirror to ensure that you are rotating around that spine tilt that is slightly away from the target like that. So I'm sure that you can improve those conditions through doing some training, not worrying about it too much during your swing. The grip looks good. Everything else looks pretty sound. Takeaway, I'd probably like to see just a little bit more, tiny bit more wrist action in the early part of the takeaway. I think that's going to help with that club face condition there, because you tend to get the club face just a little bit closed in your takeaway. Your swing path has improved of late. We can see the swing path here is terrific, and some of the video that we see from earlier in the year, look at this one here, your club was tending to go a little bit too far around to the inside there with a pretty closed club face. So the swing path has improved a lot, and I've also noticed that from watching you the last month or so that your swing path has indeed improved. The swing overall is looking much more simple. So here we can see this video was taken in February, that probably if the key positions that we're trying to reference when you're doing your training include where you want this shaft to be at half backswing position. When your left arm's made it up to horizontal, I think you want to have that shaft, just a little bit more slightly underneath your right shoulder there. The plane looks pretty good. Okay, so we have that shaft angled towards the target line back behind your right foot. Now, in order to have that shaft just underneath your right shoulder, you're going to need to swing your arms up a little bit more in the early part of the takeaway, which will mean that your hands are a little bit more in the center of your chest here. So we always want to try to feel like we've got our hands and our arms directly in front of your body. It may not always be like that, but that's what it needs to feel like. And then we're probably going to find that you can, if anything, come under on the downswing, rather than if you go back too far to the inside on the backswing, you may be coming out in front on the downswing. So that's what we're seeing here. So that's a big improvement in your swing of late, is that now this shaft is in a better position on the takeaway. Your hands in this video back in May are a little more in the center of your chest. The shaft is a little bit more towards being straight underneath your right shoulder. But one of the key things that we see is here, there's not a marked out move or forward front move with the shaft on the downswing. So this is a much more simple looking motion, and we can see that your left arm plane is actually a little bit flatter here than it was on that earlier picture in February, and it's even become a little bit more flat now at the top of the backswing. So we can go back to that one in February. We can see that the shaft actually crosses the line quite a bit at the top. So your arm plane, you've taken it back inside there, allowed the arms to swing around as you turn your body, then it's arms up here. So the arm plane just looks a little bit too upright. It looks like it's crossed the line a little bit of separation with the elbows, and the club face a little bit closed. So now we've got to compensate for that on the downswing. And one of the key areas of compensation that you've been employing was, if that club face gets closed in the backswing, we need to prevent that club face from being closed at impact. And if you lead with that left elbow like that, just where we get softened out a little bit. It's going to prevent that club face from being closed at impact. But it's not the, probably not the way that the top players in the world will work their club face. You can certainly swing your arms faster on the downswing when your club face is square, close to square to your path. You're not having to hold off, and where you're able to freely hinge your wrists on the follow through. So we can see there's a little bit of holding off with that follow through there, even though you probably weren't trying to hit a fade. It's a fade type follow through with the arms not rotating that much and the wrist not recocking that much, and that's just because the club face is just a fraction closed in relation to the path up at the top of the backswing and in the takeaway. So again, we look at this one from back in May, and possibly one thing that I'd see here, maybe you could just stand a fraction more upright. The more you're going to bend over like this, the more your arms are going to swing up that way. Your arm plane's going to be more upright. So I'd say maybe we need to just get you feeling like you're a fraction more upright in your address position. But yeah, I also would like to see a little bit of an improvement in that club face in the takeaway there. So I think that the good players can tend to be a little bit closed if they're outside. That's acceptable, but usually if you're closed and you've swung it back straight or to the inside, that can cause some problems. So we just want to work on that club face in relation to the path. In practice swings and practice drills and exercises, I'd prefer to see that more in a toe up position here, somewhere nearer to that. So again, here it's gone around a little bit and then up with the arm, so it just looks a little bit more upright than our most recent videos that we've got here, where top of backswing, left arm has actually flattened out a little bit more at the very top of the backswing, and your shaft looks a lot more on plane and pointed parallel left to the target line at the top, so it looks like a better top of backswing. And the key thing is, this change of direction is a big improvement, and it's even improved more in the last month or so. So the club here travelling only a little bit from the inside on the downswing. Club face control looks pretty good there. Maybe we could just work on that posture a little bit as well, because it's just a little bit of a change in your posture here from where you are at start of backswing, top of backswing, and impact. So there's just a little bit of rounding out there, and again, I think this is something we need to work on in your drills and exercises, not try and work on it too much in thinking about it during your swing, but things like feeling like you're keeping your backside out in that type of position. Maybe you brace your backside against a rail or something and do some training, but you can see here you're just moving your backside away there a little bit, so that's helping to create this little bit of curvature in your spine, which is not causing any dramatic problems now, but you might as well be working on maintaining that posture as good as you can. It's going to help you with your centerness of contact, which is really important in hitting it straight and getting your distance control. So I'm not too concerned with looking at your short game stuff at the moment. I think your bunker play and your chipping and pitching is very good. We just need to make sure that you keep nice and shallow with your angle of approach with your bunker play and your chipping. We'll just take a quick look at a standard chip shot. So yeah, path is pretty good there, maybe a fraction upright. Okay, but you're really good with your precision in your contact, so that means you're able to get good elevation in your shots and very good spin and no trouble in stopping the ball. So that's really good. short game shots, chipping and bunkers are really good. Putting, I'd like to see some changes. So with your putting, I see a lot of good things in your setup. We want to see that straight line between your right forearm and your putter shaft at address when viewed from behind. Same thing when you're looking from directly the other side, left arm and shaft in a straight line. So that's going to help you with your club face control. I think your spine at the top here is fine. You're able to look out straight out your face, and hopefully you can see that your eyes are directly above the ball. So you can see here, maybe your eyes are a fraction too far out. That can cause some problems with your alignment, and it can also cause some problems with your stroke path. So here in this particular stroke, we can just see that there's a little bit more going left on the follow through than what we'd want. So a little bit cutty stroke, so we need to work on that a little bit. And I think the best ways to do that is going to be where you've got some reference. So a string line's going to help a lot. So we'll see that's just going a little left there. And we know that in putting, the most important thing is actually the putter face alignment at impact. So you get that putter face square in relation to your path, square in relation to your target at impact, and the ball's going to go pretty straight. But if you start getting a little bit too much of that cutting across, it's going to cause some problems later on. So provided we can get that ball to start straight, you're not going to see too many issues. But I think going forward, you definitely want to work on that stroke path and face on path. So I would advise getting the green laser out again and doing some work on your face on path. That can also help with your stroke path. Continue to use the perfect stroke, which is going to help you with your plane. So you've got to really lightly rest that shaft along your plane rail and use it either side, and trust that it's going to actually work its way into helping you with your path. But here in your address, it just looks like, with your feet alignment there and your hips and your knees, maybe your shoulders are fractionally more open than the rest of your body. So again, that could be causing a stroke path that just goes a little bit to the left. And things like ball position, really important as well. You can't afford to get that ball positioned forward in your stance too far. And you need to continue to work on your distance control. So you've got to be doing a lot of drills and exercises for improving your distance control, as well as doing some practice, giving you some feedback on your putter face alignment at address. We also need to be doing an equal amount of work, on your routine and mental approach. So all in all, your game is developing really well.